Hey everyone! In this extended documentary-style deep dive, we unravel the long-mythologized mystery surrounding the moment they finally opened Jim Kelly's locked storage unit, a place that had quietly fascinated martial arts fans, Hollywood historians, and entertainment sleuths for decades. Because for years after the legendary star of Enter the Dragon passed away, rumors swirled about a hidden collection he kept tucked away in a dusty, climate-controlled storage facility on the outskirts of Los Angeles, an unassuming metal unit that held the whispers of a past Hollywood never fully understood, and secrets that even those closest to him didn't know existed. And as the story unfolds, we explore how Jim Kelly, the groundbreaking black martial arts icon who electrified the screen with his lightning-fast kicks, iconic afro, and magnetic charisma, lived a private life that was far quieter, more complex, and far more mysterious than fans ever imagined. And as time passed, the locked storage unit became the subject of endless speculation. Some believed it was filled with unreleased movie reels from his early career. Others claimed it contained letters from Bruce Lee. And some insisted it held personal journals that detailed the racism, exploitation, and behind-the-scenes battles Kelly endured in the martial arts industry during the 1970s and 1980s. But no one truly knew, because Jim Kelly never spoke publicly about the unit, never revealed what was inside, and never allowed anyone access, not even family. And so when the day finally arrived when the lock was cut, the doors slid open, and the mysterious vault of a Hollywood trailblazer was finally exposed. What they discovered was not just memorabilia, but a life story frozen in time, layered with heartbreak, triumph, ambition, and the emotional weight of a man who had been far more than the cool, untouchable martial arts superstar audiences saw on screen. And as the metal door groaned open, the first thing they noticed were dozens of meticulously organized boxes stacked floor to ceiling, each labeled in Jim Kelly's bold handwriting: scripts, contracts, training journals, family, Bruce, competition years, and personal, do not open. And as archivists began to sift through the contents, the magnitude of what Kelly had preserved became overwhelmingly clear, because inside were reels of never-before-seen training footage, revealing that he had been working on new martial arts styles long after Hollywood had largely forgotten him. There were early drafts of films he had secretly written, passionately hoping to produce one day, including a long-lost project that would have been the first major black-led martial arts franchise in American cinema. And tucked deeper inside were personal letters from Bruce Lee. Yes, actual handwritten letters, full of friendship, admiration, and plans, the two shared for future collaborations before Bruce's sudden death shattered both their dreams. And alongside these treasures were heartbreaking revelations. Journals in which Kelly wrote candidly about the deep frustration he felt with Hollywood executives who wanted him to be a stereotype rather than a star, producers who undervalued him, roles he turned down because they perpetuated racial caricatures, and the emotional toll of being typecast and denied opportunities despite his incredible talent, discipline, and globally adored screen presence. And as the archivists continued, they discovered something no one expected: a collection of medical documents, notes, and private reflections detailing the early stages of the illness that would eventually claim his life, revealing that Jim Kelly had quietly battled health challenges for years without ever seeking sympathy or public attention, choosing instead to face his struggles in total privacy. And in the most personal corner of the unit, they found a box labeled simply "Daughter," filled with photos, birthday cards, and letters that told a deeply emotional story of a man who carried the weight of fatherhood with a mixture of pride and regret, wishing he had spent more time at home during the height of his fame, and writing late-night reflections about wanting to leave his daughter something meaningful, something that showed who he truly was beyond the movie posters and magazine covers. And as experts pieced together the contents of the storage unit, a fuller picture of Jim Kelly emerged. One of a disciplined athlete, a man who pioneering stereotypes, a quiet revolutionary who refused to compromise his identity, and a private soul who felt more deeply than anyone realized. And in this documentary, we explore how the discovery of his locked storage not only reshapes his legacy, but forces us to confront how Hollywood failed to fully appreciate him, how the martial arts world never gave him the platform he deserved, and how the man behind the fast kicks and cool poses was a thinker, a dreamer, a creator, and a survivor trying to protect pieces of himself from a world that took far more than it gave. And by the time we reach the end of this investigation, we realize that the true shock is not the physical objects found inside, but the emotional truth they reveal. That Jim Kelly had spent his life building a legacy he hoped someone would one day understand, storing away the pieces of a story he was never fully allowed to tell, leaving behind a hidden archive that finally shows the world the depth, vulnerability, ambition, and brilliance of a man who changed cinema forever, even if the spotlight never shined on him long enough. And now, with his secrets uncovered, his legacy finally has the chance to be seen, not as a footnote in martial arts history, but as one of its most important, complex, and unforgettable pioneers. Thanks for watching.